All right, so here we go with James 1:16. Do not be deceived, my fellow brethren. Pretty brief one, but there is quite a bit to unpack here. So first of all, this deceived that he's talking about, that is a misled or led into error or letting somebody fool you. Now it has the imagery of like a pet being led along by like a leash. And then he finishes it with my beloved brethren. So this is his friends and his fellow believers. Okay, so now what is James talking about being deceived? He's talking about being deceived by your own wants and your desires or your lusts. Okay, and then he's going to pivot and he's going to move on to the next verse and tell you what truth is. But let's park here at being deceived. So who are some of the people in our lives that can deceive us? Well, we already talked about our own wants and desires, our lusts, the world, Satan can also deceive us. Also, whether on purpose or on accident, our friends or acquaintances, they can also deceive us. Experts, government officials, scientific experts, even religious experts, they can all deceive us, as well as social media, Facebook. Sometimes they'll have some misinformation on there that is deceptive in nature. And then also some of the script readers, which we call like news people. So those are some of the who can deceive us. Now, how are some of the ways that they deceive us? A lot of times statements with zero proof or no evidence or no reasoning involved there. You also see people saying, oh, you should be doing this or you should not be doing that. Well, again, why? Do you have a reason why I should or shouldn't be doing that? So as Christians, we're looking for kind of a biblical reason for how we should or should not act. Now, when it comes to scientific and that type of stuff, we see a lot of headlines out there, and they might have one example that we're not looking for just one anecdotal example. We're looking for a little bit more than that as far as proof goes. Or they'll just say, because science. Again, that's not a reason. We need some sort of reason or evidence of why we should or shouldn't do something, or whether something is true or false. Another one is censorship, or just telling one side of the story. So is a common way that we are being deceived. So again, what they said isn't necessarily false, but they're only given one side of the issue or the argument or whatever it might be. So, and taking things out of context from time to time as well. And then the other one is just logical fallacies, straw man argument, part to whole fallacy, that type of stuff. If you do want to brush up on your logic and figuring out where their errors in reasoning was, good book here, The Fallacy Detective, just teaches you how to find logical fallacies. So great book there. I know the Tuttle Twins also have a good book out there as well over finding logical fallacies or errors in reasoning. So now that we've kind of talked about and broken down who and how we get deceived, what are some things that we can do about it? Well, number one, start with the truth. Start with the Bible, God's Word. There isn't anything false in it, so you can always start there. Book of Proverbs is a great place to start as well. And then also I did want to read Colossians 2, 2 through 4. Colossians 2, 2 through 4. Here we go. That their hearts may be encouraged, having been knit together in love, and attaining to all the wealth that comes from the full assurance of understanding, resulting in a true knowledge of God's mystery, that is Christ himself, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. So kind of my second way of not being deceived is fellowship. So we got the Bible, and then we also have fellowship. When the believers are together, when we're face to face, we can talk about some of the issues, talk about what we've read, what we've seen, and we can go that way. Also doing your own research, not just going off the headlines. And then last, it does say, James 1, 5 through 7, it talks about praying for wisdom and understanding. So do your own research, and then also pray that God will help you sift through what's true and what's not. And when we're with fellow believers, we can also bounce ideas off of them as well. So fellowship is a big one as well. So remember, James is talking about don't be deceived about your wants, your desires in 1:16, and then he's going to kind of bounce off to, and then why, or because, and then we'll hit that on James 1:17, the next video.